Peterson Toscano here in Pretoria, South Africa, with a Bible story. Once upon a time, Jesus and the disciples got up early and got into their boat and crossed the lake. They landed on the other side in the Gerasenes region, a Gentile region, which is funny, I guess, maybe, I don't know, for these Jewish fishermen and a rabbi. And as soon as Jesus' toe touched the ground, screaming down from the top of the hill came a man. And he threw himself at Jesus' feet and began to beg Jesus to leave him alone. Now, a good strategy, if you want someone to leave you alone, don't hurl yourself at their feet. But it happens. So a little backstory about this guy. He lived in social isolation. He lived amongst the tombs up in the cemetery. Not quite sure why, who else was in the tombs that he was interested in or he was mourning, we don't know. He also was a very violent person, particularly towards himself. He would cut himself, he would throw himself into the fire, he ran around naked a lot and frightened people, screaming and yelling. The diagnosis of the day was that he was demon-possessed. Today, likely he would receive a different diagnosis, but back then he had the demons. And I know a thing or two about demons. During 20 years almost of my life where I tried to de-gay myself, one of the prevailing theories of why I was so incredibly, incurably gay was that I was possessed by homosexual spirits. I had 3 different exorcisms, 2 in New York, 1 in England. The British one was rather a tame affair. The one in Brooklyn got a bit raucous, and after about an hour and a half of broken furniture and a bucket of vomit, somebody called the police and broke that whole thing up. Anyway, so Jesus runs into this man with a demon, and being a faith healer, he decides that he's going to help the dude out. But before he just starts casting demons out willy-nilly, he tries to do a little diagnosis. What kind of demons? Turns out the guy didn't have a demon. He had loads of demons. He had a legion of demons. And this presents a conundrum for Jesus in the story, because I guess you just can't throw demons out into the atmosphere because they need warm bodies to land in, according to the story. And if he were to release these demons, well, all of his disciples and the townspeople would be possessed. So the demons actually give Jesus a suggestion. Up on the hill, there's a herd of pigs minding their own business, and they ask, "Can we go in the pigs?" And Jesus complies. Now, without asking consent, these demons go flying up into the hills, and they enter the pigs. Woo! Ouch, demons. Who panic and stampede, and sadly go in the wrong direction and stampede over the hill into the lake, and they are drowned. But the man who was so incredibly ill, he suddenly was well. He was clothed and in his right mind. You would think this would be a means for much rejoicing, but the townspeople were not so happy. No, they were pissed off. They were ready to stone Jesus. And I don't mean party stoning, but actually hurling stones at him. This may have had something to do with those pigs, which represented the local economy down the tubes, and maybe they didn't see Jesus as this wonder-working man, but rather some sort of anti-pork Jewish sorcerer. Whatever the reason, they wanted him to leave quickly. Jesus got the message and thought, this is the time to go. I believe the Greek word is skedaddle. But before he goes, this man who was so filled with demons and isolated throws himself once again at Jesus' feet and begs him, "Please let me follow you." Now this is curious when we see Jesus' response here in Mark chapter 5, because Jesus is the dude who's always like, follow me, you up in the tree, you in the bushes, everyone follow me. And suddenly here's someone begging to follow him, and Jesus is like, nah, you know what? Why don't you stay here and tell everyone how awesome God is? Gotta go. And Jesus leaves the man behind. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe he just trusted the guy, that he could just kind of go on with his own life and didn't need to have a rabbi. I don't know, but maybe you have some ideas, and maybe you have some ideas for other Bible stories I should share. Leave your comments below, and let's see what we can come up with next.